Elon Musk sends secret message to Black Millionaire as Donald Trump wants to intervene. New York City, 2045. The streets buzz under neon lights and flying cars streak through the foggy sky. Skyscrapers pulse with digital screens, flashing vases, ads, and rumors. But tonight, the real story isn't on any billboard. It's in a locked, encrypted message sent straight to Marcus Steele, the city's most mysterious billionaire. Marcus isn't just a name anymore. He's a legend wrapped in shadows, celebrated for giving billions away to fight hunger and poverty. Yet he carries a weight no headline ever shows. A troubled past, a childhood racked with pain and secrets only he knows. His calm, cold gaze hides nights of trembling and doubt, nights he whispers to himself, "Can I really change this world?" Then, out of nowhere, the message arrives. Encrypted, sharp, impossible to ignore. From none other than Elon Musk, or at least someone claiming to be him. The words pulse on Marcus's screen. Forces will try to steal it. Marcus's heart hammers. His chest tightens. Could this be the breakthrough he's dreamed about all his life? An answer to every sleepless night and every broken promise? But underneath the skyscraper buzz, in shadowed corners of power, a storm brews. Donald Trump, outspoken, desperate, and angry, has caught wind of the message. His eyes burn with a familiar fire, not of hope, but of fear. Fear that this technology will topple his empire, erase his legacy, and ruin everything he plans to claw back. Whispers swirl through gilded rooms. He's scheming again, planning to hijack this miracle for himself. Watch Trump. He'll turn hope into chaos. The city's pulse quickens as rival ambitions collide. Back in his sleek penthouse, Marcus stares at the glowing lines of code. His hands shake, fingers trembling, not from fear, but from memories long buried. Faces flash before him. His mother's fierce eyes, his father's cold silence. A family secret, so dark it could shatter everything he's built. A sudden ping, another message. This one reveals Trump's plan to corrupt the technology, trap it in his grip, and bend the world's people like pawns on a chessboard. Marcus's jaw tightens, his breath catches. This isn't just business, it's war. He's pulled between two fires, his dream of wiping out suffering and the crushing pressure of enemies who destroy him to win. The city outside hums, oblivious, as Marcus fights his inner storm. Then, a chilling discovery. A file that could expose Trump's treachery, but might also tear apart Marcus's own fragile world. His heart pounds, doubt screaming louder than ever. A shadow looms, his past reaching forward with icy fingers, threatening to unravel hope itself. What will Marcus choose? Fight and risk losing everything, or turn away and let darkness swallow the future? The city waits, holding its breath. The clock ticks down, and somewhere deep inside, a tear slides down Marcus Steele's cheek. A rare crack in the armor of a man who thinks he must be strong for everyone but himself. What happens next? The fight for the future has only just begun. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without notice. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming. And since you're here, drop a powerful like that really helps me with the algorithm. Oh, and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. Marcus wipes the tear from his cheek, the glowing lines of code still dancing. Uncertainty claws at his insides, whispering that he may be against more than he ever imagined. The clock on the wall ticks loudly, each second a reminder that he must decide. Suddenly, the room is filled with an intense hush, as if even the city outside has paused. Another ping echoes through the silence. Another message, this one urgent. The words blaze across Marcus's screen. Trust no one. They're coming for you. Cold sweat trickles down his back, his pulse quickening. He glances around, eyes scanning the dimly lit penthouse. The walls feel like they are closing in. There's no trace of the calm, collected billionaire people see. Just fear, just vulnerability. One glance back at the screen, and his heart stops. Another message arrives, but this one is different. The sender isn't Elon Musk, or at least not the man he thought he knew. The name lit up on the screen sends a shockwave through him. Elena Steele. His breath catches in his throat. His sister. The sister he believed to be dead. Images flood his mind. Childhood days lost in laughter. The pain of their separation. The agonizing years thinking she had vanished forever. Now, this message feels like a ghost materializing in front of him, shifting everything he thought was real. Marcus, you don't understand. The project isn't what you think. It carries more darkness than you can imagine. And Trump's got it. It's in his hands. The message continues, the words tightening like a vice around his heart. He shakes his head, confused. Elena, but you were gone. He types back, trembling fingers hovering over the keyboard. Seconds turn into an eternity. No reply, just silence, thicker than the smog outside. But then, a sudden pounding at the door shakes him from his stupor. He opens it cautiously. There stands a figure, cloaked in shadows, face obscured. An agitated breath escapes the dark silhouette. Marcus, you must listen. They're tracking us. The voice is deep, urgent. It's not just a warning. It feels personal. Only when the figure steps into the light does recognition hit him like a runaway train. Alan, his closest ally, stands there, panic etched on his features. Alan, what are you doing here? Marcus's voice trembles. How did you know? They've got intel on you, Marcus. Everything's compromised. Trump isn't just after the technology. He knows about Helena, too. You have to choose, fight him or run. There's no middle ground anymore. His heart races. Everything feels layers deep. Trust is shattered and loyalty's fray. Could Alan have known about Helena all along? There's a pressure building inside him, splitting him apart. The foundations of his world, who he is, what he believes, crumble as fear grips him tighter. Then, before he can respond, the unmistakable sound of a drone hovers outside, high above the bustling city. The whirring becomes a deafening hum, drowning out his thoughts. It's here to deliver a message or a threat. Get down, Alan shouts, pulling Marcus to the ground just as a blinding flash of light explodes in the window. A deafening crash follows, the shockwave knocking them both back. The walls buckle, glass sprays like rain. In the chaos, his phone slips from his hand, skidding across the floor. The screen still lit, Elena's last message flickering ominously. As dust fills the air, Marcus realizes this isn't just a battle for technology. It's a fight about who he truly is, who he lost, and what he's willing to sacrifice. The city beyond remains oblivious, its heartbeat steady, while his own races into madness. What comes next? The lines of loyalty blur, and trust becomes a dangerous game. In this moment, everything feels like it could shatter, just like the remnants of his past swirling in the wreckage around him. Marcus wiped the tear from his cheek, heart racing. The hidden file lay open, its contents swirling like a cyclone. Each word held weight. Secrets threatening to tip tea. Names flickered past, friends, allies, all entwined in his mission. And then it hit him, hidden in the metadata, a timestamp, a rendezvous time, but not with Elon or any tech genius. A meeting marked. Tonight, 9 p.m., the old factory, South Sector. His pulse quickened. What could this mean? And just like that, a storm of uncertainty crashed over Marcus. The file's truth wasn't just about technology. It was about betrayal. Webs spun long before his fight against hunger began. The shadows of his past crept closer, ready to consume him. Suddenly, alarms rang out from his communication device. His chest tightened. An emergency alert, a city-wide blackout warning, sent chills down his spine. The neon lights flickered, dimming, then plunging into darkness. The city turned into a maze of shadows, and an unsettling stillness filled the air. It was more than just a malfunction. It was engineered chaos. A message slid into view, breaking through the silence. "He's coming for you!" It was short, but urgent, signed Lena. Lena, the one person he had trusted with his plans, his secrets, his vulnerabilities. Panic flashed through him. Why would she warn him now? What did she know? With the lights out, a heavy dread settled over Marcus. A knock echoed at his door. Quick, decisive, like a soldier ready for battle. He hesitated, heart racing, as a familiar voice broke through the dark. "Marcus, open up! It's me!" It was Lena. He swung the door wide, the dim glow of his holographic generator illuminating her face. But it wasn't her urgent expression that perplexed him. It was the shadowy figure standing just behind her, shrouded in the obfuscating darkness of the hall. "Who's that?" Marcus demanded, tension coiling in his stomach. Lena stepped forward, eyes wide with fear. "You need to trust me. We have to go, now." The figure stepped into the light, and Marcus's breath hitched in his throat. It was a face he hadn't seen in years, a face that haunted him in nightmares. It was his father, Michael Steele, long presumed dead. "What?" Marcus stammered, the world swirling around him. "You vanished! You abandoned us!" Michael raised a hand, silencing him, desperation etched in the lines of his face. "I didn't abandon you. I had to hide." "There are things you don't know, Marcus. Things that can change everything." Lena's gaze darted between the two men, confusion woven with urgency. There isn't much time. Trump has connections. He's on to you. He wants the technology for himself, and he'll stop at nothing. The room pulsed with tension. Marcus's heart raced wildly, caught between anger and disbelief. They both turned to Michael, who was looking at him with a heavy weight in his eyes. Everything you've worked for, every sacrifice is under threat, and I'm here to help you understand why, Michael said, his voice breaking the silence like a bullet. There are truths we need to face. Oh, and they're uglier than you can imagine. The air grew thick with unspoken words. Marcus felt betrayal and confusion resonate within him. His entire life had revolved around the pursuit of hope, yet here was the materialization of secrets that could engulf it all. Then, the power returned. Lights flickered back on, illuminating the tension that hung like fog. The city awakened once more, unaware of the storm brewing within a simple penthouse. "What do you mean?" Marcus finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "What truth?" Michael took a step closer, eyes fierce with revelation. "The technology you were sent about. It's more connected to us than you think, to our family. You're not just a philanthropist. You're a player in a game much larger than you've been led to believe." The implications crashed down, heavy and dark, shadows creeping around the edges of Marcus's mind. The real battle was just beginning, but who could he trust when everything fell apart? The city outside thrummed to life, but in that moment, silence enveloped them, hanging in the air like a taut string ready to snap. The choices were laid out, dangerous and unclear. And deep within, fear and determination battled fiercely for control. The room pulsed with tension. Marcus felt the weight of Michael's stare, a storm brewing in his chest. Secrets that had festered for years now threatened to erupt. And then, before he could fully grasp the implications, the lights flickered violently again. A steady hum filled the air, growing louder, vibrating through his bones. "Dad, what do you mean, connected to us?" His words were sharper than intended, tinged with unresolved anguish. Michael swallowed hard, his eyes reflecting a depth of pain Marcus could barely fathom. The technology, it could reshape everything we know. Skepticism flickered in Marcus's gaze, but a deeper instinct warned him to listen. His heart raced. "And why should I trust you now? You abandoned us." Lena stepped forward, reaching for Marcus's arm, her finger shaking. "We don't have time for this. He's right, Marcus. You need to see the bigger picture." Suddenly, the deafening hum shifted. All at once, a blinding flash illuminated the room. The very air felt electric, crackling like static. Marcus shielded his eyes, but the light rapidly morphed into a whirlwind of shadows. A figure materialized in the center, a dark silhouette emerging from the chaos. "You thought you could get away?" The voice boomed, chilling Marcus to the core. It echoed around them, vibrating through the walls of the penthouse. In a heartbeat, the figure stepped into the light, revealing a face he never expected to see. Someone he once trusted completely. "Alan!" Marcus gasped, disbelief flooding his system. "What are you?" But Alan's expression, usually so calm, was now twisted in distress. "I'm sorry, Marcus. I had no choice." Confusion clouded Marcus's mind. "No choice? What do you mean?" Alan's gaze dropped, guilt flooding his eyes. "I thought I was protecting you. That's why I didn't say anything sooner." "About your father." The words landed like a punch. "You knew all this time?" Marcus felt betrayal seep into his bones. Alan shook his head, desperation lacing his voice. "I didn't know what happened, but I knew he was alive." A crack formed in Marcus's resolve. "Why now? Why is he here? What the hell is happening?" His chest tightened, panic swimming through him. With a swift motion, Alan pulled out a device, a small screen lighting up with real-time feeds. "We're not safe. Trump found us. He's using drones to track you." The flickering screen displayed a live feed of small, floating drones patrolling the sky outside, scanning with glowing red beams. "We have to move now." The tension in the room peaked. Michael stepped forward, urgency spilling from every pore. "We need to go. Trump isn't just any adversary. He knows the truth." As if to punctuate the urgency, a thrumming sound filled the air. Drones whirring closer. The building trembled slightly beneath their weight. Then, in a stunning twist, Marcus's phone buzzed wildly on the floor. It lit up, flickering stubbornly under the debris. He bent down to grab it, heart racing as he felt a strange pull toward a new message. The screen brightened, but what he saw froze him in place. A video clip played, displaying a familiar face, one that twisted his stomach. A live feed of Trump himself, smirking coldly. "It's all falling apart, Steele. It's not just about technology. It's about bloodlines." The revelation crashed down. "Bloodlines?" Marcus whispered, his heart thudding painfully. Alan stepped back, eyes wide with realization. "What do you mean?" Trump continued, voice sinister and taunting. "You're just a pawn in a much larger game. The tech isn't the only secret. You and I, we're more connected than you realize. Welcome to the family." Everything shattered. Trust, loyalty, identity. Through the jagged lens of betrayal, Marcus stared at the screen, words echoing in his mind. "Family? What family?" Lena's grip tightened on his arm, breath hitching as the reality hung heavy in the air. Outside, the city buzzed, oblivious to the turmoil about to unfold. And as Marcus stood there, his world teetering on the edge, a chilling question lingered. Who was he really fighting against? Marcus felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. His heart raced, the room pulsing with doubt and fear, as he faced the screen that held his future, and that of millions. He had choices to make, paths to choose, and all he could see were shadows. Suddenly, the blinking cursor froze. The screen flickered. Marcus's breath hitched. An alert! An emergency message! Incoming transmission, it read. The source blank. Before he could process, the window exploded open. The face that filled the screen jolted him. It wasn't Elon Musk. It was Sarah, his longtime assistant and confidant, a woman he trusted with his deepest secrets. ... Marcus! They're coming for you. Panic laced her voice, sharp and frantic. You have to listen. What are you talking about? He managed, heart pounding against his ribcage. His mind raced. Could this be part of Trump's scheme? What do they want? The technology. They know. It's not just Trump. There are others, people you don't know. They've been watching, waiting. Her eyes darted around, her face pale and drawn, as if she were in a fight for her life. Watching? Who? Marcus's voice trembled now, tinged with fear. Your family, they're connected to this. You have to. A sudden crash echoed through the penthouse. The windows rattled, and the lights flickered violently. An explosion rocked the building, shattering the tranquil surface of his life. Dust filled the air, swirling like ghosts in the chaos. Marcus felt reality twist around him. Get out! Get out now! Sarah screamed, her image distorting as static crackled through the line. Heart racing, Marcus leaped from his chair, eyes wide in shock. He had no idea what was happening. Footsteps thundered outside, echoes of urgency mingling with the chaos. The door burst open, two figures storming in, dressed in shadows and menace. Caught off guard, Marcus stumbled backward, but Sarah's warning replayed in his mind like a siren. They were after him. Get down, he shouted as he dove for cover behind a sleek, metallic table. Bullets slammed into the walls, carving chaos. The air thick with tension, he felt adrenaline pulse through him, merging with fear. His mind scrambled for a plan. He had to escape. The dark skirt of his past was unraveling like fabric in flames. Then a loud thud. He turned to see Sarah, now a hostage, her hands bound. Marcus, she cried, voice filled with terror. They know everything! They know about your parents! His chest tightened. The truth swelled like a storm in his gut. What do you mean? He hissed, desperation coating every word. Your mother, your father, they were involved with this technology long before you. They weren't just victims of fortune. They were makers. The panic in her eyes turned to something darker. They hidden it from you for a reason, Marcus. A silence broke over the room, heavy like a weight in the air. His family, his past, the secrets he'd buried, it all connected in an unthinkable web. And now, those threads were pulling tight, threatening to choke the hope he had so fiercely clung to. Time stretched thin. The figures advanced, and Marcus's mind raced. How could he fight against a past he barely understood? His breath hitched again as a thought struck. It was too late. He had no choice. He had to choose between his hope and the demons of his life. But just as he prepared to act, the door blew off its hinges and a familiar face emerged from the shadows. The last person he ever expected to see. A face he thought was lost forever. Marcus, the figure whispered, stepping into the light. Reality fractured. The clock in the background ticked ominously. The world blurred, leaving Marcus gasping for answers. What had you done? He asked, as all assumptions shattered around him. Everything, the figure replied, as the ground beneath his feet began to tremble with the weight of truth. Marcus wiped the tear from his cheek, breath coming in ragged gasps. This was it. The moment everything could change. He stared at the screen, heart racing, mind racing faster. But he had to decide. Did he fight for the future or walk away to save himself? The air was thick in the penthouse, suffocating with tension. Just then, the wall behind him flickered to life. A massive holographic display illuminated, showing Marcus's face, but not just any image. It was his younger self, standing in a neighborhood long forgotten, haunted eyes gazing back. A ghost of his past that he thought had vanished forever. His pulse quickened. He didn't send this, but the image shifted, and behind it emerged a shadowy figure. His childhood friend, Kai, the one who disappeared the night everything changed. The hologram spoke, voice layered with pain and urgency. "Marcus, I'm alive, and I need you to listen." Marcus stumbled back, breath hitching. This couldn't be real. "Kai? But you vanished. I thought you were dead." "I faked my death. They were coming for me. For us. You can't trust anyone, Marcus, not even Elon Musk." There was a crackle in the air. An electric urgency threaded into every word. "The technology. It's not what you think. It's a trap." Marcus's heart fell into his stomach. "What do you mean?" "It's designed to control people, reshaping minds, families, even nations." Kai's image flickered, pain etched on his features. "And Trump? He's not the real enemy here. There's a puppet master pulling the strings. Someone you know. Someone you trust." The walls felt like they were closing in. Marcus shook his head, voice trembling. "It can't be. Who? Who is it?" "Your father, Marcus. He's alive. He orchestrated everything, using you to finish his plan." Dread churned in Marcus's gut as memories flooded back. The cold silences, the quiet dinners filled with stares. His father's ambitions were always just out of reach, masked behind a facade of family loyalty. It was all a game. The pieces suddenly clicked, and the world dimmed around him. The hologram began to shimmer again, electrical sparks flying through the image. "Find the truth, Marcus, before it's too late." And then it cut out, plunging him into darkness. Panic surged, hands trembling against the cold surface of the table. Outside, the city's neon lights buzzed, oblivious to the seismic shift in Marcus's life. For years, he ran from his past, buried it under layers of wealth and charity. But now, it was back to haunt him. The blood thundered in his ears. Could he really trust the words of a figure from a life he thought he'd left behind? The weight of that thought knotted his insides, pulling him in every direction at once. And just like that, everything felt fragile. His dreams, his world, even the fight against poverty. Faces blurred and melted together. They became echoes of betrayal. Was he standing on the brink of a revolution, or on the edge of a trap? Then the door burst open, and a figure entered, a stranger with a familiar urgency in their eyes. "Marcus, we need to talk. Things are worse than you think." As Marcus turned to face the new arrival, a swirling storm of uncertainty enveloped him. The city outside surged and pulsed, but inside him, questions festered and shadows danced. A chilling realization setting in. What if everything he believed had been a lie? The clock ticked on, the air heavy with impending chaos. And somewhere, deep inside, a new tear threatened to fall, as the fight had only just begun. Marcus sat frozen at his desk, heart pounding in his ears. The file glowed ominously on his screen, a ticking time bomb of truths and lies. He felt like the walls were closing in, shadows lurking, whispering secrets he wasn't ready to hear. It wasn't just technology at stake. It was the very essence of who he was. This war wasn't about wealth or power. It was about the chance to change lives. Suddenly, the storm of doubt grew louder. Could he really trust the source of this message? His thoughts spiraled as memories crashed like waves. The times his mother clutched his hand, eyes filled with unfulfilled dreams. The nights his father's stoic silence echoed through the empty halls. A cold sweat broke out on his brow. Was he about to follow in their footsteps? Was he destined to fail like them? Just then, a jarring notification tore through his troubled mind. A voice echoed from the speakers, crisp and charged. "Marcus, it's me. You need to see this." It was Jenna, his closest ally, the only person he'd ever allowed past his armor. He answered, words tumbling from him. "What's going on? Did you get that file?" "Yeah, and you need to see it in person. Meet me at the tower. Now." He felt urgency crackle through him. He slammed his laptop shut, racing down the polished elevators, mind a battleground. The streets outside were a swirl of neon colors and blurred faces. He barely noticed the flying cars whirling overhead, or the chatter of distant voices. Every step felt heavy. Every heartbeat echoed like a ticking clock. He entered the sleek tower, its glass facade reflecting the turmoil inside him. Jenna was waiting in a shadowed corner, urgency etched on her face. "Marcus, you don't get it," she began, eyes wide. "It's worse than we thought." She glanced over her shoulder, then handed him a small device, a holographic projector buzzing softly in his palm. Before he could question her, she activated it. A 3D image flickered to life above them, revealing a dinner party. Among the faces was Trump, but what shocked Marcus most was who stood beside him. His face pale, eyes steely, his own father, Jonathan Steele. Marcus's blood ran cold. "What?" The word barely escaped his lips. "They're in cahoots, Marcus. Your father. He's been feeding Trump info about you, about your plans. It goes deeper. He's not just bitter about the past. He's mad you're doing what he never could." "No!" But the truth hit him like a punch to the gut. The man whose memory he carried, the one he had tried to understand, was part of this twisted game. The weight of betrayal crashed down on him. The city outside pulsed relentlessly as shocking revelations unfolded. "You need to prepare," Jenna urged, her voice tense. "This isn't just a corporate battle. This is personal. They're aiming to destroy you before you even start." Staring at the hologram, Marcus felt the ground shift beneath him. Confusion mixed with anger, like fire and ice. His father's betrayal felt like a dark cloud, looming over his dreams, a shadow whispering that he was always destined to repeat the past. Doubt tightened its grip. The clock was ticking. The city held its breath. What would he do now? Fight against the legacy of betrayal, or risk losing everything he'd built? Clarity blurred as everything he thought he knew hung by a thread. "Marcus," Jenna's voice crackled with urgency, pulling him back. "We need to move. They're onto us." He nodded, transitioning from shock to determination. The world outside thrummed with danger. In that moment, he grasped the device tighter in his hand, ready to confront the unknown. Would he find the strength to break free, or would he succumb to the past that loomed darkly behind him? The fight had only just begun. Marcus stood there, still gripping the holographic projector, as Jenna's urgency buzzed in his ears. Outside, the city throbbed with life, but inside his chest, a storm raged. This was it. A fight not just for survival, but for the very essence of who he thought he was. His father's betrayal cast a shadow that loomed larger with every passing second. "Marcus, we need to get out of here!" Jenna grabbed his arm, shaking him from his thoughts. "We can't stay in the city any longer!" But he felt rooted in place, battling the whirlwind of emotions. Trust had always been a fragile thing for him. It crumbled now, one lie layered over another. "Did you know?" he asked, his voice steady but strained. "Did you know my father was alive?" That stung. Jenna bit her lip, eyes darting away. "I had my suspicions. I didn't want to believe it. Why didn't you tell me?" His voice cut through the air, raw and jagged. "I didn't know for sure." Her hands trembled on his shoulders, anxiety radiating. The room felt too small. Shadows shifted like monsters. "We can't stand here fighting each other. We have to move." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed down the hall, shaking the very foundation of the tower. Windows rattled. Dust fell from the ceiling like confetti of chaos. Marcus's heart plummeted. Time had run out. "Now! Come on!" Jenna pulled him toward the emergency exit. They stumbled through the door, adrenaline surging. The stairs spiraled down, their footsteps echoing in the dark. He could taste the tension, feel it weighing on his skin. He had no idea what they were running into or from, but somewhere deep inside, he felt the tightening knot of fear. As they reached the ground floor, an unexpected jolt rocked Marcus to his core. The sound of gunfire erupted just outside, followed by screams. Panic flooded him. "What's happening?" "Drones!" Jenna yelled over the chaos, eyes wide in terror. "They're everywhere!" He looked up, and panic clawed at his throat. Red beams escaneaban al suelo. A swarm of drones sobre amenazando, like predadores esperando saltar. Then, salgo de la frie. Empezó un hombre presentando la prieta, una presencia perdiendo la mente inégita. ¿Papá? La palabra salió antes de poder pararla. Jonathan Steele entró en el entramado, gritando como si acabara de ganar simpatítica. The darkness behind him seemed to deepen, swirling like a storm. "You're alive!" Marcos bridó, each word a phantom of disbelief. "Why? How could you? Did you really think I'd stay hidden forever? This was all part of the plan." Jonathan's voice dripped with confidence, but there was something behind his eyes, something cold. "You were the key all along." Panic surged again, sharper this time. "What do you mean? What plan?" "The technology you're chasing, you have no idea what it can truly do." A smirk curled on his father's lips, and the shadows seemed to deepen around him. "It's not just a way to eradicate hunger. It's a means to control it all, and I'm offering you the chance to be a part of it." Confusion and anger boiled over. "You're sick! You think I'd join you?" A loud blast interrupted their exchange. A drone zapped overhead, and Marcus ducked instinctively. But when he glanced back at Jonathan, the expression on his father's face shifted. Betrayal, hurt, and something darker flickered like fire in his eyes. The calm, collected facade he wore shattered just as quickly. "You're making a mistake, Marcus. You don't want to fight against this. Embrace it." But before he could comprehend, the ground beneath his feet trembled again, this time more violently. A blinding flash of light erupted, engulfing everything around them. When the light faded, Marcus felt an overwhelming sensation of weightlessness. Everything shifted. His breath caught as he looked around. Jenna was gone. The room, the drones, everything melted away, leaving just Marcus and Jonathan, standing in a void of uncertainty. "Where is she?" Panic clawed at his throat, dread coiling around his heart. "What did you do?" Jonathan's face turned serious, almost somber. "You don't understand. I had to protect you. They're coming for you, and now you can never achieve your dreams." "What do you mean, you?" But before he could finish, shadows exploded around him, swirling like a storm. The truth slammed into him like a freight train. And just when Marcus thought his world had unraveled, a familiar voice echoed in his mind. A child's laugh. The laughter of his sister, Elena. "Marcus, find me before it's too late." His chest tightened as the darkness closed in. The fight was far from over. How had he lost so much, all in the blink of an eye? And as he stood there, everything hanging in the balance, one question raced through his mind. What other secrets from his past were about to surface? Marcus stood there, still gripiendo la holográfica proyector que llena urgencia bozaba en sus oídos. Fuera, la ciudad trombaba con vida, pero dentro de su pecho una tormenta rentaba. Este era una lucha no por la sobrevivencia, por la esencia de lo que creía. Su padre se esperaba que cada segundo pasaba. Jenna gritaba a su hombro, sacudiéndoselo de sus pensamientos. "No podemos seguir aquí." But he felt rooted in place, battling the whirlwind of emotions. Trust had always been a fragile thing for him. It crumbled now, one lie layered over another. "Did you know?" he asked, his voice steady but strained. "Did you know my father was alive?" That stung. Jenna bit her lip, eyes darting away. "I had my suspicions. I didn't want to believe it. Why didn't you tell me?" His voice cut through the air, raw and jagged. "I didn't know for sure." Her hands trembled on his shoulders, anxiety radiating. The room felt too small. Shadows shifted like monsters. "We can't stand here fighting each other. We have to move." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed down the hall, shaking the very foundation of the tower. Windows rattled. Dust fell from the ceiling, like confetti of chaos. Marcus's heart plummeted. Time had run out. "Now! Come on!" Jenna pulled him toward the emergency exit. They stumbled through the door, adrenaline surging. The stairs spiraled down, their footsteps echoing in the dark. He could taste the tension, feel it weighing on his skin. He had no idea what they were running into or from. But somewhere deep inside, he felt the tightening knot of fear. As they reached the ground floor, an unexpected jolt rocked Marcus to his core. The sound of gunfire erupted just outside, followed by screams. Panic flooded him. "What's happening?" "Drones!" Jenna yelled over the chaos, eyes wide in terror. "They're everywhere!" He looked up and panic clawed at his throat. Red beams scanned the ground. A swarm of drones hovered menacingly, like predators waiting to strike. Just then, out of the fray, he spotted a figure emerging. A man cloaked in darkness, a presence he recognized too well. "Dad?" The words slipped out before he could stop it. Disbelief etched into his features. Jonathan Steele stepped forward, grinning as if he'd just won a game. "Surprised to see me, son?" The darkness behind him seemed to deepen, swirling like a storm. "You're alive!" Marcus breathed, each word a phantom of disbelief. "Why? How could you? Did you really think I'd stay hidden forever?" This was all part of the plan. Jonathan's voice dripped with confidence, but there was something behind his eyes, something cold. "You were the key all along." Panic surged again, sharper this time. "What do you mean? What plan?" "The technology you're chasing, you have no idea what it can truly do." A smirk curled on his father's lips, and the shadows seemed to deepen around him. "It's not just a way to eradicate hunger. It's a means to control it all. And I'm offering you the chance to be a part of it." Confusion and anger boiled over. "You're sick! You think I'd join you?" A loud blast interrupted their exchange. A drone zapped overhead, and Marcus ducked instinctively. But when he glanced back at Jonathan, the expression on his father's face shifted. Betrayal, hurt, and something darker flickered like fire in his eyes. The calm, collected facade he wore shattered just as quickly. "You're making a mistake, Marcus. You don't want to fight against this. Embrace it." But before he could comprehend, the ground beneath his feet trembled again. This time, more violently. A blinding flash of light erupted, engulfing everything around them. When the light faded, Marcus felt an overwhelming sensation of weightlessness. Everything shifted. His breath caught as he looked around. Jenna was gone. The room, the drones, everything melted away, leaving just Marcus and Jonathan, standing in a void of uncertainty. Where is she? Panic clawed at his throat, dread coiling around his heart. "What did you do?" Jonathan's face turned serious, almost somber. "You don't understand. I had to protect you. They're coming for you, and now you can never achieve your dreams." "What do you mean? You—" But before he could finish, shadows exploded around him, swirling like a storm. The truth slammed into him like a freight train. And just when Marcus thought his world had unraveled, a familiar voice echoed in his mind. A child's laugh. The laughter of his sister, Elena. "Marcus! Marcus! Find me before it's too late." His chest tightened as the darkness closed in. The fight was far from over. How had he lost so much, all in the blink of an eye? And as he stood there, everything hanging in the balance, one question raced through his mind. What other secrets from his past were about to surface? Suddenly, the void exploded with color and sound. Marcus found himself standing in another room, unfamiliar and sterile, bright lights dimming slowly. Confusion gripped him, and he felt a weight in his chest, like impending doom. "Marcus?" A soft voice. He whipped around, heart racing. There she stood, Elena. But it was not the little girl he remembered. This was a woman, shadows under her eyes, a look of urgency etched into her features. Elena, how? But before he could finish, she raised a hand. No time. You have to trust me. It's all connected. What do you mean? He gaped, feeling the world tilt underneath him. Dad is in deep, Marcus. He's not who you think he is. Neither am I. The words hit him like a punch. What do you mean? He's using you. The technology, it was ours. We created it together. But it's not just technology. It's a weapon. And I'm here to stop him. Ah, stop him? Marcus's mind raced. But why didn't you come back? Why let me suffer? Because I have to protect you, she said, voice shaking. I didn't want you involved. You were just a child. But it's too late. You're already in this. As the revelation swirled, Jonathan appeared again, fury radiating from him. What did you tell him? Elena's expression turned steely, a resolve Marcus had never seen before. The truth. You've been lying to him forever. And I won't let you manipulate him any longer. In that moment, the air sparked with tension. The ground trembling beneath them. The weight of secrets threatened to crush him. What did you mean we created it? Suddenly, everything he believed crumbled. Jonathan's eyes darkened. You don't know what you're asking for. You are not ready for the truth. But before Marcus could react, everything imploded. A blinding light engulfed them, swallowing all their fears. And in the flash, Marcus realized with bone-deep dread that the world he thought he knew was crumbling. The city outside continued its rhythm, but inside, everything was burning. And Marcus understood now. The fight for the future had changed. The real battle was just beginning. Would he fight alongside Elena, the sister he believed lost? Or would Jonathan's grip pull him into a darkness that could consume them all? And as he faced them both, space shifting and thrumming with uncertainty, he felt the ground fall beneath him once more. The clock ticking down. In that blinding void, Marcus felt everything fracture around him. The weight of Elena's revelation hung heavy in the air, each word a brick building a wall of confusion and betrayal. He looked between his sister and his father, hearts racing, memories clawing at him like starving wolves. Elena stepped forward, her eyes fierce and bright. Marcus, we need to stand together. I found out too late. Dad's been orchestrating this from the shadows. He used us. Jonathan's face tightened, eyes flickering with something darker. No, Elena, you have it wrong. I was protecting him. You don't understand what's at stake. The only thing at stake is your ambition, slipped from Elena's lips. The fissures between them widened like cracks in a frozen river. You want to control everything. You think using us will save you? Marcus felt his breath stutter in his throat. Dad, is that true? His voice trembled, memories colliding against the fortress of his perception. Jonathan's expression shifted, a storm brewing behind his eyes. Marcus, I did it for our family. For our legacy! You're the one who can unlock its potential. You want to change the world? Then you must join me. Around them, the darkness seemed to thicken, pressing in like the weight of a world he could no longer bear. Marcus backed away, pulse pounding in his ears. You want me to help you exploit people? I'll never be a part of that. Elena took another step forward, her voice rising. You can't let him manipulate you. We can fight together, but not like this. Not for a future steeped in shadows. From somewhere, a distant siren wailed, echoing down the stark hallways of uncertainty. A flash sparked in Jonathan's eyes. You have no idea what's coming for us. They'll come for you. Then the world exploded back into reality. A loud bang reverberated around them. The drones were closing in. The window shattered with a shower of glass, showering the room. Go, now! Jenna's voice sliced through the chaos as she appeared from the shadows, fighting her way through the storm of confusion. Marcus turned, breath catching in his throat. We have to get out of here before it's too late. He grabbed Elena's hand, feeling the warmth dissolve the cold fear coiling in his gut. Jonathan's anger boiled over, darkening the space. You'll regret this, Marcus. Let's end this! He clutched Elena tighter as she pulled him toward the entrance, their heartbeats synchronizing in a frantic rhythm. Together, they bolted outside, dodging the debris as drones buzzed in the air above them. Glowing red beams, searching, analyzing, hunting. Over here, Jenna shouted, leading them through a narrow alley. The city's chaos enveloped them, people screaming, the thrumming of engines drowning out all sense. As they ran, fear and clarity began to merge. If they fought back together, they could change everything. Freedom wasn't just a distant dream. It was within reach. Every breath whispered of their shared determination. They burst into the open street, a whirlwind of color and noise. Marcus felt adrenaline flood his veins. The city pulsed with life, unaware of their stand against the tides of darkness. But in that moment, all he could think about was the bond they shared, the family they had, although fractured, and the power in uniting against the looming threat. They stopped, breathless, glancing back as Jonathan's figure loomed at the edge of the alley, fate swirling in his eyes. You can't run forever. This isn't over. Maybe not, Marcus shouted back, certainty in his voice. But it's a new beginning. As they turned away, adrenaline surged, hope ignited. Together, they could build a future free from the chains of manipulation and darkness. And somewhere, high above the city, the drones hummed angrily. But with each step forward into the unknown, a fire blossomed in Marcus's chest. This was their moment. Life stretched infinitely ahead, uncharted and vibrant. A promise of rebellion and unity. You can join us on this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming exclusive stories that could change everything. This is the moment to show your support. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm, and let's keep this going. We want to hear from you. Flood the comment section with your reactions and theories about this ending. And don't wait even a second longer to share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this ending.